Good afternoon, dear students. Today we are going to revise the next type of chemical reaction, that is displacement reaction. By now we have learnt about combination reaction and decomposition reaction. And decomposition reactions are of three types. And what are the three types? First one was thermal decomposition, in which only heating was done and the substance decomposed. Okay. Then we learnt about electrolytic decomposition, in which electric current was splitting with the help of electric current we were splitting the compound. Okay. Then another one was photo decomposition. In that, what was happening? The heat was provided in the form of light. So now we are going to study about displacement reaction. Now what are displacement reactions? The displacement reactions are the chemical reactions in which one element takes the position or place of another element present in a compound. Okay, there is a compound in which two parts will be there, cation and anion. Okay, now one of the element is replaced or its position is changed or place is changed by the another element. Okay, present in a compound. We are talking about a compound. Fine. So let us see some examples related to it. For example, Zn plus H2SO4 gives zinc sulfate, ZnSO4. See what has happened? Zinc has replaced hydrogen. Okay. Let us take some more example. Zinc plus CuSO4, copper sulfate. Okay, and the reaction goes on and we get zinc sulfate. Here we will write H2 also. Hydrogen gas is also released. Plus ZnSO4 plus Cu, copper is liberated. Okay, so in this what we need to do is we have to just check that there should be the metal that is being used to replace. For example, zinc is replacing copper from this compound copper sulfate. So what we need to keep in mind, that whatever the compound is being taken and the another metal that is being taken, what we need to do, it should be what? Reactive than copper. Okay, means the metal that is going to replace the another metal from the compound should be reactive, more reactive. Okay, than the metal which is present in the compound. Fine. Let us take some more. Lead plus CuCl2, copper chloride. The reaction will take place and it will form PbCl2 plus copper. Is it okay? So next is AgNO3. Let us take one more example. AgNO3 plus silver nitrate plus copper. CuNO3 copper nitrate whole twice plus Ag. Fine. So let us see, zinc is reactive than hydrogen, then zinc is reactive than copper also, lead is reactive than copper, and silver is reactive than copper is reactive than silver. So this, how can we come to know? There is a series there is a series over here. We call it reactivity series. And you know, in this reactivity series, the metals are arranged in such a way, that the topmost metal is the most reactive, and then the decreasing order of the reactivity is there. Okay, so potassium, then sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver and gold. Okay, this is the reactivity order. So can you see these are arranged according to the decreasing order of reactivity. Means the top has the highest reactivity order and the lowest is the least reactive. Okay, so if I take, let us take this lead or zinc and copper. See the condition, zinc is here and copper is here. So what is going to happen? zinc can replace copper, but copper cannot replace zinc. Same way, if I say zinc and Fe, then zinc is more reactive than Fe. If I take the example of lead and copper, see here, lead is here and copper is here. So which is more reactive? Lead. So lead can replace copper from the compound, but copper cannot replace lead. Fine. So this is how the reaction can be taken. Now look here, this is silver and this is copper. So who is going to replace the one? Another one. It will be copper is going to replace silver, but silver cannot replace copper. Okay. If I write here CuNO3 whole twice plus Ag, it seems as if the reaction will take place, but it is not so. Why? Because copper is in the compound, but silver cannot replace it. So we will write here no reaction. No reaction will take place. Is it okay? So this was about the displacement reaction and the reactivity series. Now let us come to the another one, and that is double displacement reaction. In double displacement reaction, what will happen? As the name is suggesting, 2 times the displacement of the metals will take place. Okay, before I start with the next type of reaction, that is double displacement reaction, there is one more point that I should discuss here. That in displacement reactions, when the reaction is taking place, heat is evolved. It means that displacement reactions are always exothermic in nature. Exothermic reactions. It means heat is released when the reaction is taking place. Okay. Now, next is double displacement reaction. Next reaction that we are going to study is double displacement reactions. Okay. So, what are double displacement reactions? As the name is suggesting you that 2 times displacement is taking place. So, the chemical reactions in which one compound, each of both the reacting molecules get exchanged to form the products, is known as double displacement reaction. Again I am speaking, the chemical reactions in which one compound, each of both the reacting molecules get exchanged, then we say that double displacement reaction is taking place. Okay. In this, what is actually happening? The partners of the compound are changing. They are exchanging. Okay. So let us see some reactions regarding double displacement. Now let us take example of AgNO3. What is it? What is AgNO3? Silver nitrate. When it reacts with NaCl, sodium chloride, how the reaction will take place? See, Ag will replace Na. Okay. So both the ions are exchanging with each other. Let us see. What will happen? AgCl, it will be formed. Ag will come here and Ag will come this side and Na will come here. So what will be the another one formed? Na plus NaNO3. Okay, the reaction will proceed further like this. And remember that they need to be in aqueous condition. Otherwise the reaction won't take place. This will be a precipitate formed and this will be again aqueous condition. This is solid because it is precipitate, silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Okay, then the reaction that is commonly done when the students are performing in the laboratories. Okay, the most demonstrated reaction for double displacement reaction is that there is a salt called barium chloride, BaCl2. It in aqueous condition. Aqueous means what? Solution in water. It is barium chloride plus sodium sulfate, both are white color salts, Na2SO4, again aqueous. I am saying that they always takes place in aqueous condition only. Okay. Now the reaction will take place. Ba is going to replace sodium. Sodium will come here, Ba will go there. Barium. So it will become BaSO4. It is solid. Why? White color precipitate is formed. It's a very fast and rapid reaction. Plus BaSO4 is formed, barium sulfate, and along with this NaCl, 2 NaCl, sodium chloride, aqueous condition, dissolved in water. Okay, this you will do in your laboratories also. Okay, so this is how the reaction takes place. So very fast reactions, double displacement reactions always takes place in aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means that the solution is made in water. Okay, so these are very fast reactions and do not require any kind of particular condition to take place. Besides this, these are also called not only double displacement reactions, we also call them ion exchange reactions. What do we call them? Ion exchange reactions. Okay, they are also called precipitate reactions. Why? Like white precipitate is formed, here also precipitate is formed. Okay, so it can be like precipitation reaction. Not only this, as you have learned in the chapter of acid base, what happens in acid base when an acid, let us take HCl plus in aqueous condition, then base NaOH, again aqueous. When HCl reacts with NaOH, what happens? Then what is formed? NaCl is formed, it is aqueous, plus H2O, water. Okay, HCl plus NaOH, Na replaced H and H got combined with OH, and what is formed? NaCl and H2O. So this is neutralization reaction. So what we can say, double displacement reactions are again of various types. What are they? They can be ion exchange method, they can be precipitation reactions, okay, and they can be also called as neutralization reactions. Fine. So neutralization reactions normally occurs between whom? They occur in acid and base. Now let us come to the another concept, and that is oxidation and reduction reactions. What are oxidation and reduction reactions? Oxidation and reduction, I'll take it in a comparative manner only. Okay, now what is oxidation and what is reduction? See, these reactions are described in number of ways. I'll give you one acronym that is very easy to learn. Oil rig. Okay, what does it mean? It means oxidation is loss of electrons. If the electrons are losing, then we say oxidation is taking place. And what is it? Reduction is gain of electrons. Okay, this was the first definition. Then second one, oxidation is gain of oxygen. Means if oxygen is added to a compound, it means oxidation is taking place. And reduction is opposite to it. Reduction is loss of electrons. Sorry, oxygen. Third one, oxidation is loss of hydrogen, and reduction is is gain of hydrogen. Okay, so this is how we can define oxidation and reduction in three ways. Oxidation, reduction. You can write with this, learn with this acronym. Oxidation, oil, rig. Oil means oxidation is loss of electrons. Oxidation is loss of hydrogen. Oxidation is gain of oxygen. Okay, when oxygen combines, then we say oxidation reaction. Reduction is gain of electrons. If electrons are being gained, then we can say reduction is taking place. Or reduction is loss of oxygen. If the oxygen is lost, then we say reduction is taking place. And it is, if hydrogen is added, then we say reduction is taking place. Okay, so removal of oxygen and addition of hydrogen is oxidation. This is reduction. If addition of oxygen and removal of hydrogen, then we say oxidation. So let us see some examples over here. Okay, first of all, first one, that is like Zn, zinc. When zinc oxide reacts with carbon, okay, in presence of carbon, zinc oxide is treated, then what do we get? We get Zn plus CO, carbon monoxide. Now, from where the oxygen is being removed? Oxygen is removed from here to form zinc. Understand? And in carbon, what is happening? Oxygen is being gained. Don't forget to put arrows, otherwise it will become ambiguous. Okay, so we are saying here loss of oxygen, and this is gain of oxygen. So what is loss of oxygen? Loss of oxygen means reduction, and gain of oxygen means oxidation. So this is reduction and this is oxidation. Okay, let me take one more, and in that you are going to understand again what is oxidation. Fe2O3 plus, Fe2O3 means ferric oxide, plus 2 aluminium. Okay, when the reaction takes place, then Fe is formed plus Al2O3, aluminium oxide, Al2O3. Now can you see where the oxygen is being removed and where the oxygen is being gained? If I say in this condition, what is happening? Oxidation is taking place. Gain of oxygen. So what is this? Gain of oxygen is oxidation. Okay. Now what is happening here? Fe is losing oxygen. So it is reduction. Reduction. Why? Loss of oxygen. So I hope it is clear to everyone what is oxidation and what is reduction. Now, why we are learning all this? Because they are happening in our daily life also. Okay, how it is taking place? See, some things that are happening around us, and they are examples of oxidation or reduction. So we need to learn about them. Two phenomena that is taking place around us, like one is corrosion, CORROSION, corrosion. Now this is very not a new concept to you. You have learned about it in earlier classes also. What do you mean by corrosion? Corrosion is eating up of metals by the atmospheric gases. Okay, we call it corrosion. Fine. So let us talk about different. It is a chemical process and a slow process. Eating up of the surfaces of the metals when kept in open for a long time. Okay. So we say it corrosion. Now the most common example of corrosion is rusting. Okay, very important. Rusting is one of the phenomena of corrosion. Okay, it's an example. In this, what happens? Iron object reacts with atmospheric moisture, the moisture which is present in gaseous form or vapor form, and forms a substance, a brown color, either powdery substance or flaky substance. We call it rust. Very important to learn about its formula. What is the formula? Fe2O3 dot XH2O. Very important. What is rust? Fe2O3 dot XH2O. Okay. Now, how to prevent rust? You know very well. You can do what? You can oil the object. Okay. You can grease. Greasing, by greasing also we can. By applying paint on the surface of the iron object. Okay, then galvanization. What is galvanization? It is electroplating of the iron object with zinc. Then galvanization can be done, or electroplating by some cheap substances which do not get rust easily or which do not corrode when comes in contact with atmospheric gases. Okay, so these are this one is important, rusting. You can be asked, this is very important, what is rust? Formula of rust, Fe2O3 dot XH2O. Then the last topic that we are going to discuss now is the rancidity. See, they are so important that students maximum time face these questions. Write a short note on rancidity, write a short note on corrosion, like this. Okay. So what is rancidity? Rancidity is the slow oxidation. It is the slow oxidation of fats present in the edible substances or the food material. Okay. Slow oxidation of fats present in food material. Okay, and not only this, resulting in the bad smelling or foul, resulting in foul smelling substances. Then this phenomena is known as rancidity. Okay. Now, how to check the rancidity? How we can prevent? Like, if you have seen on the shops, etc., like these chips or some biscuits or the substance, the edible material which contains fat in it. Okay, it starts smelling when it comes in contact with the air. Why? Air contains oxygen, and oxygen reacts with the fat and makes a substance which is emitting foul smell. As a result, what happens? It doesn't remain, the food material does not remain edible anymore. Okay, and it is waste. Okay, so what is done? We have to keep it. How to prevent rancidity? Rancidity can be prevented like by keeping the food in airtight containers. Okay, by vacuum packing, or when the food like chips or these are used, that are being packed in the industry, what is done? There is circulation, or the packets are flushed by nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is very reactive, so it is going to react with oxygen, and the oxygen will not remain, and the food item will remain fresh for very long time. Okay. Besides that, what else? We can deep freeze the food. Food can be kept in freezer, etc., or refrigerator, so that at low temperature the rancidity won't take place. Okay. Or we can add some preservatives. Which preservatives? Like BHA, butylated hydroxyanisole. Okay. Or BHT. BHT means butylated hydroxytoluene. So these are the preservatives which can be added to the food to avoid rancidity. So today your chapter number 1 is over. So you need to do the revision properly. Revise whole of the chapter and the concerned topic that we have done today.